to ask you, why are you all here? Here doesn't mean at this venue, but in this world, on this earth. Most of you will answer, to live, obviously, which is only partly correct. The completely correct answer would be to live your best life. What does it mean to live your best life? To live your best life means to live in a way that you're happy and bubbling with enthusiasm all the time. To live your best life means you're eager to get out of bed every morning and take on the challenges of the day. To live your best life means that you're aware that you may be one person in the sea of humanity, but you are a special person, and your presence in this world makes a difference. Then you may ask, how does one live one's best life? Before I tell you that, I would like to tell you a little story. There were 3 monks who used to meditate on the banks of a river. On the other side of the river were their huts. Now one day, these monks sat down, they were about to sit down to meditate. When the first monk gets up and says, "Hey, can you please wait for me? I need to put my soup on the stove for cooking." "I'll quickly go and come." The other to say, "Okay, go, hurry up, hurry up." So this monk gets up, he walks on water, goes to the other side, puts the soup on the stove, walks on water, comes back and sits down. As they're about to start again, the second monk says, "Hey, can you please wait? I need to go and hang my clothes for drying. And in the 3 hours that it'll take for us to meditate, my clothes would be dry." So the other two say, "Okay, hurry up, go ahead." So the second monk gets up. He walks on water, goes to the other side, puts his clothes for drying, walks on water, and comes back. Now the third monk thinks to himself, if they can do it, I can do it too. Do what? Walk on water. So he comes up with an excuse and he says, "Hey, I forgot to bring my mat and the ground is very hard. Could you please wait for me? I will go and get my mat." And the other two say, "Okay, go, hurry up." So this monk, he gets up. He takes one step in water, falls down. Gets up again, tries again, falls down again. The other 2 monks are watching him and smiling, and one nudges the other and says, "Should we tell him where the stones are?" That means there are some secret stones in the water which the monks are walking on, and it appears to the outsider that they're walking on water. So this is what I will give you today, some secret stones to live your best life. So which is the first one? Be yourself. When children are young, they're toddlers, you will see that they are unique expression of themselves. They are very, very individualistic and they are very different from each other. But as they are growing up, they are told time and again to be like other people. So what happens is, you must have heard adults tell a child, "Don't walk like that. No one else walks like that. Don't talk like that." Have you heard anyone else talk like that? And as we grow up, we become photocopies of each other. We become exactly like each other because we are conditioned to think in the same manner, to function in the same manner. Let me explain this to you through an example. This is an exaggerated example, but then exaggerated examples work well to make the points crystal clear. This person goes for a job interview. When he reaches the interview venue, he sees that there are 25 men already there who are appearing for the interview, and all of them are wearing black suit, white shirt, and black ties. Talk about exaggeration. And this person who's gone there is wearing a burgundy suit, he's wearing a black shirt and a burgundy tie. And when he reaches there, he says, "Holy moly, I am in the wrong attire." I'm sure somewhere in the interview specifications it said that we must be in black and white. Now this is the first point to be noted, and that is when we are different, we think we are wrong, because that is how we are conditioned. But anyways, he musters his courage, goes, sits for the interview. All 25 sit for the interview. Now let me take the exaggeration 2 steps further. All of them fare more or less the same in the interview. Now, Lingnan University students, I have a question for you which requires a very, very high IQ to answer. And I hope you can answer it. You can answer it aloud or you can answer it in your head, doesn't matter, I will receive your answer. So my question is, who do you think gets the job? Well, I could receive your answers, and I must tell you, you are all brilliant, amazing. Yes, you are right. The person in the burgundy attire gets the job because he's the only one the interviewers remember. He's the only one who stands out, and he projects an image of a go-getter, a trendsetter, a leader, and a risk-taker. So, that means if you are yourself, your authentic self, not pretending to be something different, but your authentic self, then you will reach amazing heights. As Dr. Seuss says, there is no one as youer than you. And our differences are our gifts to one another. So remember to be yourself. Now, the second stone of living your best life. Be in charge of your emotions. Do you know that you all have a huge invisible drawer? And in that invisible drawer, you have, in that invisible drawer, you have a lot of invisible remote controls. And when you wake up in the morning, you hand over a remote control to every person you meet. Your family, your colleagues, your classmates, the people you meet on the street, everyone. You give everyone a remote control. And then the show begins. Now, everyone can elicit any emotion from you that they desire. So someone can press the hurt button and can hurt you. Someone can press the anger button and can make you angry. Now, how does that happen? Let me explain through an example, okay? There is a family of 3 people, husband, wife, child. It's early morning time, they're all getting ready to go to work, go to school. And the wife decides she will make breakfast for her husband. So she makes breakfast for her husband and gives it to him. He takes one bite of the breakfast and says, "Yuck, this breakfast is awful. When will you ever learn how to cook?" And the wife puts her hand on her waist and says, "Oh, really? I get up early in the morning, I take the effort of cooking breakfast to you, and you tell me this breakfast is awful? You are a mean man. And I have been thinking of separating from you. I cannot live like this with this negativity." And just then, the son walks in, says, "Mommy, can you please help me tie the shoelaces?" And the mother is already very angry. She says, "I will do nothing for you because you must be like your father. So anything I do for you is not good enough for you. When are you ever going to grow up and learn to do things yourself?" And the father says, "Come on, honey, don't shout at him. You're angry at me." She says, "Oh, now I can't even talk to my son." And it goes on and on and on, and you can imagine how their day goes. Now let us change this scenario a little. Okay, so the husband takes one bite of the breakfast and says, "Yuck, this breakfast is awful. When will you ever learn how to cook?" And the wife says, "Honey, awful breakfast is better than no breakfast." And she goes about doing her chores. And then the husband feels bad that he said such a thing to his wife. He realizes that he has been mean. And just then the son comes in and says, "Mommy, can you please help me tie the shoelaces?" And the father says, "Oh, don't bother your mother. She is very busy. She has a lot to do. I will help you. And tell me what else you need help with." And the son smiles, the mother smiles, the husband is happy, and you can imagine how their day goes. So what was the difference between the first situation and the second situation? In the second situation, the wife was in complete control of her emotions. She had pre-decided that she's going to be happy, she's going to be joyful, and she's not going to let any external situation, comment, or person spoil that for her. So when you are centered in your joy and you decide to control your emotions, then you can live a happy life, because the other person, if the other person is mean, is shouting at you, is angry, it is only the projection of that person's personality. It's a reflection of that person's personality. It has nothing to do with you. How you deal with it is the reflection of your personality, right? So stay in charge of your emotions. And now I will take you to the third secret stone of living your best life. Take risks. Now, if you have to live fully, you must grow tremendously. And to grow, you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to do things that you have never done before. You have to have experiences that you have never had before. And I can give you examples of some great people like Walt Disney or Colonel Sanders of KFC, who took great risk. But all these examples you can find on the internet. So I will give you an example of an example that you cannot find on the internet. It's a very humble and simple example from my childhood. When I was around 8 or 9 years old, we were living in an army cantonment area. And there we had an Olympic-sized swimming pool. There was a 10-meter diving board, and when you jumped from the diving board or you dived from the diving board, you would go into the depth of 14.5 meters. And I would go there very often with my friends because I loved water and I loved jumping from the diving board. I did not have the skills to dive, so I would just jump. I would run on the diving board and then fling myself off the diving board with my hands and legs in the air and scream, "Ah!" and then land in the pool. It was great fun. So I jumped from different heights, 1 meter, 3 meters, 5 meters, 7 meters. When you jump from a great height and you go into great depth, I would go inside very near to the floor of the swimming pool and open my eyes and look around, and I would be very excited because I was so close to the 14.5 meter depth of the pool. And then I would come up, surface up, and when I came up, there was a slight problem. I did not know it was a problem, but now, from an adult perspective, when you look, it seems like there was a problem, and the problem was that I did not know how to swim. So, but I was very excited about the next jump. I had to make that next jump. So to make that next jump, I have to get out of this pool. So I would wildly throw my hands and legs and come out. Go up the diving board, jump again, and then keep doing this. The only hurdle was that little swim that I did not know, but I never thought that it was a problem or or no one had ever told me that when you jump from a height of 7 meters into the depth of 14.5 meters, you should know swimming. Now you will say that is common sense. But if you know children closely, you will know that what is common sense for adults is common nonsense for children. They don't have fear in them. They have the raw courage that propels them. So same with you. When you have courage inside you and you have excitement inside your belly and you want to do something, just go ahead and do it. Don't think too much, because when you think and when you weigh the pros and cons, things many times don't work out. You use that excitement as a fuel to propel you to your goal. So remember, when you live outside your comfort zone, when you do things that you've never done before, when you experience failures and then experience successes, you reach the pinnacle of your potential. The risk that it takes to remain tight in a bud is more painful than the risk it takes to blossom. With that, let me recap the points that I told you to live your best life. First, be yourself. Second, be in charge of your emotions. And third, take risks. So I hope in these 18 minutes, I have helped you walk over the secret stone and cross the river. Thank you.